Hello and welcome back to another episode of Creating Powerful Impact. I'm your host, Shay Wheat, founder and CEO of Grace and Ease Productions, where we support entrepreneurs like you with event-based marketing and sales strategies and bringing you the best in the industry in regards to how people are actually creating impact in the world. So I'm excited to share with you somebody brand new to the space of our community here. We've got the amazing Kate McCauley, who is the CEO of her women-owned company, Danu. And hopefully I said that correct. Now, she also has a degree in kinesiology, a master's in education, is a certified coach, and has, get this, 20 years of experience as an educator. So Kate really helps people to unlock their potential and take action. So she does a lot of this through her speaking engagements, workshop facilitation, and one-on-one coaching. So please help me welcome to the Creating Powerful Impact stage, Kate. Hey, Kate.
Hi, Shay. Thank you so much for having me here. I love the introduction. I need you everywhere I go.
Right? Just take a snippet of it and just put me out there. And
I actually might. But thank you very much. I'm excited to speak with you tonight.
Yay, me too. So I've obviously told a little bit about who you are and what's going on, but I would love for you to, kind of start and share with us anything that I might have missed, or, what you're actually doing to create impact in the world today.
I would love to. So I think you did a wonderful job describing all of those things. And I will tell you that in the beginning of my journey as an entrepreneur, I would list all of those things, and those are important things, but I really love making an impact on the world. And that is what I'm doing. I'm transforming lives at a lot of different places or journeys for other people. Wherever they are, I meet them where they are, because the journey is unique, thank goodness, because it would be incredibly boring if, we were all doing the same exact thing. But I do this through coaching one-to-one. When I'm in workshops or speaking engagements, my goal is not to, become this influencer type person. Although, I think I make an impact and influence people. I really love, and I get lit up when people have an aha moment and they think, I can use this in my life, or you're right, why not me? And they start to have those moments where I can see a light bulb go off. It reminds me of being in the classroom where a student just gets it. And then, I push them a little bit further to take action. And sometimes it's some tough love if it's in a coaching arena. And if we're in a workshop, I build that rapport quickly because I have been doing this for 20 years as an educator. And every single time people say to me, I'm going to go try this, I'm going to do this now, so that excites me. And I just love talking about it with people like you. And it's really my passion where I am right now. Someone said to me when I was in the leaving teaching, well, I guess it really wasn't your passion or your purpose. And I was taken back a bit because it actually was my purpose while I was there. But now my purpose is here. So I'm very fortunate.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what are you seeing showing up for people right now? Why are they coming to you? What is the pain that you're seeing in the world right now?
So I would say for coaching in particularly, people are coming to me for a wide range of different parts of their life, but a really big area that seems to be the same for everyone is that since COVID, things are different for me. Maybe I'm working from home, or my job has changed. I'm starting to go back into the office a little bit. Things changed during COVID. Some stayed the same. Some are still in this hybrid world that people aren't really sure of. And people really want to put themselves on the to-do list. So they had some time to reflect during that COVID era. I guess we're still in it, but they really want to move forward. They don't want to stand still. So I would say that it was a time for people to reflect. And now finally, some people are saying, I need to start taking action. So they reach out to me. And I would say for workshops, I just booked a workshop yesterday, signed the contract for an additional one. And when I was on the phone talking with them, they actually changed it up a little bit. They're talking about mindset, what I do, but they also said, we have to talk about healthy boundaries, because as people are coming back into the workplace, they haven't seen each other face to face for a long time, and it's a little awkward right now. So I think that's something that everybody is craving. They want that balance in their life. And, those who are employing them want to have the healthy boundaries. And I love that employers are doing that they're reaching out and saying, you know what, we want people to come in and talk to our employees about the benefits of taking care of themselves, where I think it was mentioned before, but I'm not sure if it was actually a reality. It was almost just a lot of talk. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm feeling that way.
Yeah, that's fascinating because, really, what are boundaries when we essentially were locked down for a couple of years, and you're in your own home, in your own space, and maybe with your, immediate family for 2 or 3 years, and you go back out into the world. It's kind of like, I was noticing people forgot how to drive, or they're, weaving in and out. I don't know if you've seen this, but here in California, I was like, why are so many people angry and weaving out of traffic, and kind of touches base on the boundaries and how do we interact with one another again. It's like all of that information left their brains.
Yeah, I mean, I live right outside of Philly, so it gets a little crazy with the traffic here sometimes in general, but I would say that people definitely are on edge, and it has just become the norm for some people. I don't even like to use that really, but yes, there's a lot of anger, and they're wondering why aren't other people seeing what I'm seeing? Their perspectives, they're being more open with sharing it. And then they're getting frustrated because other people aren't having the same perspective that they are, so they have to navigate how to deal with that in a healthy way. Some tools and techniques just to manage those emotions that are coming at you, because very quickly your day can change. If you're in that traffic situation, your day could change. And I know you and I talked a little bit about how I focus on the reticular activating system.
Yeah.
What you focus on becomes your reality. So if you're like, now I'm in traffic and I'm going to be, the whole rest of the day, I'm going to be stuck here and doing this. My day is going to be, what else can happen next? It spirals. So I do think that it's playing a role, and people are paying attention, thankfully. Not everyone, but a lot of people are paying attention to it and starting to say, I don't want to explode like that. I don't want to be yelling at my kids all the time. I don't want to feel like I want to punch my boss in the face. That's what they're saying, that kind of stuff to me. So I'm glad that they're acknowledging it and being mindful. So now I get to help them.
Yeah. So maybe you could touch on the RAS system a little bit more for our audience members that aren't familiar. What is that? How do you utilize it? How does it incorporate into habits? How can we use that as, some things to do and take action on?
So the reticular activating system, which is the RAS for short, just much easier to say, and my clients will tell me the RAS, that's how we talk about it, is basically the gatekeeper of information coming in. You have so much information coming at you from all directions that you cannot possibly process all of it. But the reticular activating system realizes what is important to you, and it wants to be right. So if someone says, hey, Shay, and you turn your head, that's the reticular activating system making you aware, that this is important because they called your name. It's also a system that controls your sleep patterns, your fight and flight. So there's a lot of different things in other areas of the brain, but if you focus on it and retrain your brain, you actually can shift and change those habits. And I start by telling people when I talk with them, think about when you're shopping for a car, and maybe you're looking for a Jeep, and you start to see Jeeps everywhere. You hear advertisements on the radio. You might see a commercial, your neighbors down the street who you don't really know. Oh my gosh, they have a Jeep. And that is the reticular activating system at work. When I thought I was pregnant the first time actually, I guess all 3 times with my kids, I started to hear ads about pregnancy, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's how is this happening? Is this a coincidence? No, that was always there. but the reticular activating system is now focusing on it. So when you create I am statements and you have morning mantras and you habit stack so that we can, like we were just talking about the habits, if you want to change a behavior, I call it be better behaviors. And, maybe you want to make a change. Maybe you want to go to the gym, you stack it with something that you already do. You drop your son off. If you're able to, you go to the gym right after. If you want to do a gratitude journal every single morning, what do? Maybe you brush your teeth as soon as you get out of bed. So after you brush your teeth, you write in your gratitude journal. So you can rewire your brain to create new habits. It does take work. It's not like a magic pill. You don't do it one day and then your brain's like, oh, this is what I do now, girl. It is a process, of course, but if you stick with it, people come back to me and they're like, are you a witch doctor? How did you do this? But it's really neuroscience. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've had that happen a number of times when you're like, definitely the car situation.
Yep.
And I think in marketing, they've taken that system, so to speak, and actually tried to duplicate it in all of our listening devices that are
absolutely
around us.
I'm sure, yes.
All of a sudden, you end up saying one key word and you start getting advertisements about it like on your phone and everything else. And you're like, wait a minute. I kid you not. This happened the other day. I was interviewing somebody and off air, we were talking about how we just got this new litter bot type thing.
Okay.
Kid you not. 20 minutes later, there was an email from them in my inbox.
That's like, crazy. Oh, that's a whole nother level of
that's a new level of
right.
It. But how do you actually use the RAS system to support you in, achieving your goals and your dreams and, moving through business is really what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Absolutely. Yes. And you can use it in any area of your life. I have personally done it with business. If you and I were to meet each other, just randomly somewhere, April of 2021, I'm a totally different person, like a completely different person related to my business. And of course, I did a lot of things to do that, but it was because I retrained my brain using that reticular activating system. And it's been incredible. And I'm hoping to help other people do it too, in any area of your life, but most definitely in my business, it has been a huge transformation.
Now, are there any steps or keys that they can start utilizing now that would support them in activating that system?
Absolutely. I would say, first, take a real look at where you are and where you want to go. You have to be honest with yourself and think about specifically what you want to do. The more specific that you can be, the better. So for me, I wanted to go out and facilitate workshops, be a keynote speaker, coach people on mindset. So I knew that I had this skill and that I would be able to go out and do this, but I had to put it into words somehow and keep saying it to myself. So I created a statement. So every morning, I have it written on my board here in my office. I say it all the time, but every single day, probably 50 to 100 times, maybe even a day, I say, I am the missing piece to every opportunity that presents itself to me. And this is something that when I started saying it, I would recommend, they don't have to steal, they can steal mine if they want, but because there's plenty of opportunities out there, but I would say whatever it is you want to do, create that statement. And then you have to keep saying it. But I'm going to warn you, like I told you in the beginning, this is not a magic pill with the reticular activating system. So when I first started saying that in April of 2021, I had all my certifications, I was ready to go, but I didn't have any clients, or I had one client who was a friend who I was like, I wasn't even ready, but I guess I'm going to coach you now.
Client, right?
What's that?
Your beta client.
Right. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I started saying that, and it felt very awkward. It was the imposter syndrome creeping in because that was not who I was yet. Mm-hmm. And then in addition to saying those things, you have to literally visualize yourself so that can picture yourself driving that Jeep. Picture yourself doing the thing you want to do. If you're in marketing, picture yourself going out and doing all of the things that you want to do in the marketing scene. Myself, I pictured myself on stage in virtual settings, literally the outfit I was wearing, where my daughter would be sitting in the audience, picturing all of those things, and not from an outsider looking in, like I was in the audience, but actually in that situation, so that I could feel what it felt like. And I could, literally say, this is what I'm going to do. And again, just like saying that statement over and over again, it wasn't a one-time thing. I kept doing that. So I would say, people make those vision boards. You could do something like that, or actually visualize yourself, but be sure to put the steps in there, because I was watching myself. How did I get here? My talent coordinator got me here. Oh, I'm thanking the people that booked me. I was watching it wasn't just like a magic thing. Here I am on stage. So, because sometimes when you do those vision boards, you put like the big house or the marketing agency that you now own, but you forget to put all of the little parts in there. And it can you can feel defeated if that big house, marketing agency owner doesn't happen, because people want this to happen quickly. And it's a process.
Society in some respect. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. It's a process. So you need to visualize that process, and maybe those I am statements or whatever you want to create for yourself can evolve. So you may start with something as simple as I am a coach. Mm-hmm. And then, now I am a coach and a workshop facilitator. You can add things on so that you can confidently step into that role. I would say start doing that.
Yeah. And then start taking the actions of the things that you're visualizing. Yes,
absolutely.
Right.
Because
so
it's not,
it's just up getting somebody to support you to get on these stages and to be doing these workshops. And you reached out and took those steps. It's not just visualizing it and hoping that it'll happen. It's visualizing it, seeing the steps, breaking it down, and then actually taking action on those steps.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if you don't take action, you're going to be in the same exact spot where you were. You're just going to be dreaming about things, and I do believe in like manifesting and the visualization, but if you don't take the action, you're wasting your time. Mm-hmm. So definitely have to take action afterwards.
Okay, great.
And I want to say before we go on, what you said about getting support, do that. So people who are starting out and whatever your business is, make sure you lean on other people. I made that mistake early on that I thought I can do this all by myself. I was a teacher for 20 years.
I have all the credentials.
Right. Like, look at me, I could do this. I managed all those kids by myself in a classroom and then came home to my children. And I quickly learned that, that is not how it's going to go down if I want to be successful. So when you are ready to jump in, lean on and go out and seek that support, because it is also a huge piece of your success, which I know you just said, but I want to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's finding the experts in that space, right? So, absolutely. I was talking to somebody earlier today and he was like, yeah, I do really, really well over here and supporting this group of people, and we just pour into them. And I want to continue to scale and leverage what I'm doing. And I want to do more events in order to reach more people. But that's not my lane. That's not my wheelhouse. And I want to find an expert like yourself to tell me what I'm missing. Because I can see what other people do, but I don't actually know what goes on behind the scenes to actually make that happen. I can assume, right? But when you have somebody that's like, I got you. This,
someone who enjoys it. If you enjoy doing that and you're good at doing that, go girl. Like you do your thing and I'll do my thing. And that's how it's magic together.
Yeah. So and that's how you create more impact in the world.
Absolutely.
Putting the right team in place to support you so you stay in your zone of genius. And I think that's as you continue to scale and grow, just like you've been able to do, you reached out and you found the experts to help you do the things. Like you had the RAS, you saw it, you envisioned it, you saw the steps, and then you started to reach out and find the people to support you in doing that to continue to scale.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. So this is really starting to fly by. I want to make sure that we really support people with, next steps. So what would you say are the next best steps for our listeners to take to, start getting some support and furthering their impact in the world?
So like we were just saying, you have to reach out and be able to chat with someone just like we're chatting right here and have a conversation, because these people who help you grow are going to be a part of your team, and you need to be able to talk with them. So I would say, find someone that you can have a conversation with, and someone that knows your vision. They don't have to be doing the same exact thing that you're doing, but they need to be aligned with your vision. Like I can become, as the Philly girl in me, I can become very like, come on, let's get, and I need someone who gets that, but can also balance me out, so find people that fit well with you. And I would say, although it may seem strange to even think this in the beginning as they're scaling, but know that there are going to be different people in different phases of your business. So you may outgrow someone, and although you may love them and appreciate them for their part in your growth, know that it's okay to outgrow them, and wish them well and like support them in any way you can. But when you grow, your team has to sometimes change, and that can be tough, but it's important if you want to continue to grow.
Yeah. And that's going to be a constant. The change is the constant.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I believe you also have a gift for our audience today.
I do. I would love to offer anyone who is interested a free mindset breakthrough call, and we can hop on a call. There's, this is absolutely free, and we just talk about where you are and where you want to go. So you can get that on my website. I know Shay has all the show notes in there, so you can grab that there. It'll take you right to my app. You'll see all the times available, and I would love to chat with you.
Beautiful. So like she said, in the show notes is the best way to go ahead and schedule a call with her and, take a look at what it is you're doing, where you want to be, and how we can use the RAS system to get you supported and started in that process. Now, as we start to wrap up, I would love to know, is there any last takeaway or memorable note that you would like to leave our audience with today?
Enjoy the journey, because it can be very fast paced. And I do a gratitude journal every morning, and I keep it simple. The first 3 things that pop into my brain, sometimes it's coffee, other times it's, wow, I can't believe that Liz booked me at this great event. I'm so excited, it gets a little longer, but focus on the journey and be grateful for all of those steps. And then if you do the gratitude journal, go back and look, because it is pretty cool to see where you started and where you're at now and where you're headed in your business. So enjoy the journey.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kate, for being with us today. And thank you, listeners, for joining us on another episode of Creating Powerful Impact. I'm excited for you to start taking these lessons and resources that you learned here today, start to implement them, and create even more impact in the world from your little piece of heaven. Until next time, have an amazing rest of your day. Take care. Thank you so much for listening to the Creating Powerful Impact podcast. If you are a successful coach, speaker, author, or thought leader who would like to be on this program, simply visit creatingpowerfulimpact.com/guest. If you are someone who got something out of this interview, would you please do me a favor and share this episode on social media? Just do a quick screenshot with your phone and text it to a friend or post it on your socials. Also, if you know somebody that would be a great guest, tag them on social media to let them know about the show and include the hashtag Creating Powerful Impact. I love seeing all of your posts and great guest selections. We are regularly putting out new episodes and content. To make sure you don't miss any episodes, go ahead and subscribe. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show, and they really mean a lot to me and my team. Want to know more about us? Head on over to our website, graceandeaseproductions.com, or follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. Just look for Grace and Ease Productions on your favorite platform. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.